Hi and welcome to the next lesson in the Flipped Learning in Physical Education. This lesson focuses on the principles of fitness training and links directly from the last lesson, which was components of fitness. So, how do we improve our fitness? From the last lesson, the components of fitness lesson, we now know that fitness has many different components and elements to it. So when we look at how we improve fitness, we need to look at SPORT: specificity, progression, overload, reversibility and tedium. All of those are going to be described and explained in detail over the next few slides. Okay, the first one is specificity, and this means that training must be specific to the area we want to improve. For instance, if we want to improve our speed, then we need to do training that is speed related. We don't want to be putting stamina related practices into our sessions. Likewise, if we're doing a game and we're looking at a skill and we want to improve our dribbling, we don't start our session off with some passing. We're just wasting our time. So our training must be specific to what we want to improve. Progression means that we must keep making our sessions harder week by week, because naturally we will get better, we will become fitter, and then if we keep our sessions at the same level, we're not going to progress because they become too easy. So we need to make sure that the level of intensity of the session rises each time as we in keeping with our fitness, and as we get fitter, the intensity increases, and therefore we make progression. If the intensity is too low, we're not going to make any progression because it's too easy for us. Overload relates directly to progression, and overload is the correct level of intensity required to see progression. This does not mean working too hard, and we need to remember that. Students every year make the mistake of connecting overload with working too hard. That is factually wrong. Overload is the correct level of intensity used on the body to ensure progression. So this means working harder than we normally do, but at the correct level to ensure progression. Reversibility occurs when we stop training over a period of time and our body goes into reverse and goes backwards. Just because we become fit doesn't mean we're going to stay fit. If we've been training for 6 months and we suddenly stop training, over the next 2 or 3 weeks your body will go into reverse and your body will go back to your normal state before you started. So we need to remember that to keep fit, we need to stay fit. Tedium is another word for boredom, and this occurs when our training is repetitive and we do the same things day in, day out, week in, week out. As a coach, we need to make sure that our sessions are varied and there's lots of different activities to keep our players interested, active and engaged. Now we're aware of all of the principles of fitness training, we now need to look at how we put this into action in a training program. And this is where FIT comes in. Frequency, intensity, time and type. Frequency is how often we train. Do we train once a week? Do we train 2, 3, 4, 5 times a week? Intensity is how hard we train for. Linking back to progression and overload, we need to make sure our training sessions are pitched at the right intensity. Time is how long we train for in each session. Is it a 30-minute session? Is it an hour session? Etc. etc. And type is what type of training are we going to do? And that links directly back to specificity, making sure that we are using the correct type of training for the activity. To summarise our learning on this topic then, once we understand the principles of fitness training, if we're asked to devise or plan a training program, we need to plan for all of these different elements. If we do that, we should ensure to see progression from our athletes and a clear improvement over the training program. If we don't, and we miss out any of those areas, or we don't plan for them, then we're not going to see the improvement and the rise in performance that we'd like to.